But the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground, with a wall of water on their right and on their left. That day the Lord saved Israel from the hands of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians lying dead on the shore. Now, this is truly one of the most memorable moments from the Bible. I think many people are aware, you don't have to grow up going to Sunday school to be aware that this event took place. I remember as a kid there was an episode of Nickelodeon's Rugrats that was centered entirely on this one event, and maybe you remember seeing on the big screen Charlton Heston holding his hand out over the waters and the waters dividing. It's one that we're all pretty well familiar with, and it's depicted in shows and movies and even many songs, especially today, Christian radio music. I'll be honest just for a moment, I have never really thought Christian radio music was all that great until recent years. I would just prefer to listen to the bands that I listened to in high school. And again, sorry, side note, it doesn't get any better than the bands you listen to in high school, right? I think that's true in any era. Whatever music you listened to when you were a teenager, that's just what you listen to for the rest of your life, right? So some of you, you've got the Beatles, and some of you have the hair bands, and some of you have your 90s grunge. I have my mid-2000s punk rock. I would listen to that all day long if I could. But now I have kids in the car that want to listen to something else. And my one daughter really likes Christian music on the radio. And so I've been listening to that lately. And I've noticed that this event of God parting the Red Sea shows up in a lot of these songs. That God is the way maker, that he turns seas into highways, and he's the only one who can. This story comes up again and again, and I think because it strikes a chord with all of us, that each of us know what it's like to be in a situation that just seems impossible. All of us know what it's like to be backed into a corner with no apparent way out. And so the idea of God being someone who can create a way out even in these impossible situations really strikes a chord with us. It really means something to us. And I don't know what that impossible situation has been for you in your life. For some people it's a sickness or a disease. For some people it's an addiction. For some people it's a dead-end relationship. For some people it's a dead-end job. We've all been in those impossible situations, and that we've looked to God to deliver us from. And many times he does indeed do that, which is just a wonderful testament to God's love and compassion for us. But might I suggest this morning, or maybe challenge you this morning, to maybe think a little bit more deeply about how we can apply this event to our lives. I don't think that it's just about the fact that God can deliver you from a situation that seems impossible. Because if that's the case, then I think you're setting yourself up for some frustration and maybe even getting mad at God for those times when he doesn't deliver you from those situations. And so while yes, God can and does do the impossible to deliver us from trouble, maybe we can think a little bit deeper about how to apply this to ourselves